Hi, YouTube. Thanks so much for coming to our stream. I'm so excited to be here with my friend Anne Marie. Hi, Anne Marie.
Hello.
I'm so happy you're here. Thank you for coming. What
Thanks for
did you
letting
do
me.
today? How was your day today? What did you do?
Actually, my day was really good. I started doing some like online auctioning. I'm learning how to be a reseller. So I
Ooh,
was just kind of working on all my the things that people bought and try to get it packaged up and stuff like that. So that's what I spent my day doing, and then listening to the trial that I'm all involved because I'm a true crime person. I love true crime,
ooh,
and we've been
cool.
waiting 3 years for this trial.
Oh, nice.
For Letitia Stout, and I don't know if there's
Mhm.
anybody else on here who's a true crime person, but if they are, they know who she is. There's no missing her. She's an evil, evil woman.
And you're following that? You
Oh
said,
yeah, yeah, it's unbelievable. I don't know. It's just unbelievable what she did. She killed her stepson, is what she did.
oh, no.
So yeah, and not very nicely either. So yeah, I won't say any of that stuff because you really want to. You'll want to have to watch it, or hear about it to want to hear it because it's not good.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of like what I did today. So I had that on all day while I was doing my thing.
Nice. And for all the friends here in the chat already, I don't usually have this many people already, but
Oh,
Anne
nice.
Marie, she has commented on a few of my videos, and she even has her own channel here. If you want, you can click on that link and you can go subscribe to her. Anne Marie, do you want to just introduce yourself quickly and just like say who
Oh,
you are?
oh,
And
sure.
yeah.
Sure. Well, my name is Anne Marie, and I'm married almost 24 years now, which is hard to believe, but yeah, wow. So we're married almost 24 years. We have two children. One is going to be 30, and then the other one's going to be 20. So within a month, both of them. And we have three grandchildren. We moved to Texas about 11 years ago, so we live in Texas now, and it's pretty cool down here, but it's really, really hot, and it's really hot today and yesterday, but it can get hot. So I don't know what else to say. I love true crime. I like
Nice.
to do crafts. I like knitting, quilting, all that stuff. I like your painting. Yeah. So that's kind of like a little bit about, you know, and my sister and I are like this.
Nice.
So yeah. So I guess that's
So
hmm?
sorry, about 9 months ago, guys, I watched one of Anne Marie's videos, and you can go to her channel, and it's on her experiences in MLM. So I definitely encourage you guys to go and check that out. It's a fantastic video. And
Oh,
I
thank
think
you.
now, you're welcome. I think now I'll just say hi to everyone in the chat quickly, and then we can get started, if that's okay.
Yeah,
So DC's here. Hi, DC. And Anne Marie, if you're not already following DC, you
I
should.
am.
Oh,
Oh yeah,
nice.
I got you both.
She's one of my favorites for sure. And
Hmm.
hi, Lift Panic. Lift Panic's looking forward to a collab. And
Ooh.
then Avery Joe is here. Hi, Avery. And then Lisa's here. Hi, Lisa. And
Oh,
Charlie's here. Look at all these people. This
very
is
cool.
awesome. Yeah. And then I was gonna say Heather's here. Gary's here. Gary's looking forward to this. And then yeah, Avery said hi to us. And then
Hello.
Amanda's here. Hi, Amanda.
Yeah, hello. Oh, I'm so excited.
Here. And I've been listening to Eric Worre all day today,
Really?
preparation for this video.
Hmm.
So, Anne Marie, I talk a lot. I pause a lot. So if I don't pause it and you have something you want to say, I'll keep an eye on your little square and you can just wave at me or just
Okay.
say, hey, please pause. And chat, if there's like anything weird with our audio, let us
Okay.
know. If there are echoes or anything, let us know. But I think we're ready. Are you ready?
I am totally ready.
Yay. Okay, so in this video, Eric is going to tell us how to be a good leader. And if you don't know Eric Worre, he is one of the most famous MLM coaches. So I'm going to click play.
There's really only you. Number one, we sell we educate the world on our products. That's what we sell.
Is it playing for you or not playing?
Trading for money, good job inside of network marketing. All you need to sell nothing. foundation that we second thing that
So he's definitely technically not wrong because yes, you do have to sell in network marketing. Oh, Charlie just said it's choppy.
Okay, good. So it's
Man.
not just me. Okay.
Okay, the video
Yeah,
is choppy. Could you guys? Amanda said it's not playing.
yeah, I couldn't get it.
Okay.
I couldn't read. All I heard was a couple of
really only four
syllables.
things.
Okay.
That's
Let's
weird.
try it again. Thank you guys for telling us. And let's try again. I'm really sorry. I'll let it play for like 10, 20 seconds and then I'll see how it went. Okay, let's try again.
There's really only four things that we do in network marketing. Four things. Number one, we sell. We educate the world on our products. That's one.
So could we hear that or no?
Most of it, he's still a little choppy.
Okay, so sometimes my internet goes in and out. So I'll just put the subtitles on so we can hopefully read it if that's okay. So the first thing he said, why is this happening? Because Lip Panic just said not good. Amanda just said still choppy.
Oh. Well, we could start over. Still choopy? I like that. It was a misspelling. That's funny. That's a good one.
Choopy. So the first part he just said is like, we sell things. That's the foundation of what we do. We sell. He's technically not incorrect because you do have to sell, but you're not necessarily selling to customers. You are selling to the people in your downline, right? And so he's technically not wrong. It's just a little bit dishonest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So if this keeps being choppy, I'm going to be sad because we have a lot of people here, but let's try again.
We do. Freedom necessary. And for money, it's like a job and getting all.
My internet keeps going down.
Oh,
I feel like it's not working right now.
Aw.
Yeah. Like the moment I click play, it just like stops working. And my internet like goes down to 1 bar.
Really?
Okay. I'll try again.
You're on the West Coast, right?
Yeah, literally right now it's perfect. Like west-ish area, yeah.
Okay, because that's why
like
we're
it should be
different.
Yeah. Okay.
It looks like the words are coming
until we sell. That is the absolute foundation of everything that we do. Number two, the second thing that we do is
it keeps going down. So selling is the absolute foundation of what we do. Yes. And then it just, my internet goes down. So maybe I'll just let it play and you guys can tell me if it's okay. What do you think?
We can read it.
Okay. So, because sometimes this happens to me and I'll watch it later and it does get pretty choppy. But what do you think, Anne-Marie? Just let it play?
Yeah, we can try and read it and see what happens. I don't know how I would be able to even try mine on that, but I don't know how that would work. But yeah, let's see what happens.
Okay. Sorry, friends.
Technical difficulty.
We recruit an ever-expanding team of people who are selling. Okay? Neither of these two require leadership. You can recruit and you can sell without leadership. That's something you personally do. The third thing that we do is we duplicate.
So we have to recruit an ever-expanding number of people who sell products. And so maybe that's how we're selling the products, not necessarily searching for new actual retail customers, but we just need to have people in our downline that purchase their personal volume requirements. And we know that the volume goes all the way up to the top.
Yeah,
so he's technically not lying. What do you think about that?
Well, I learned that the hard way because when I did my Mary Kay thing for the third time, which was just a few years ago, when it clicked in my head that I'm the customer, I was so upset and disappointed. And then knowing how our national sales director, the way she was, um, we were paying for her to live this millionaire's life because she is a millionaire. She still is. So yeah, when I found out I was the customer, because I really wanted to sell to people, I thought I was going to be able to make this business and have makeup because I love all that stuff. I went to beauty school years ago and I always liked hair and makeup. You can't tell today, but I do. So yeah, when I figured out, excuse me, I was the customer, it was devastating, really. And it took all these years to figure that out, but I'm
Yeah.
glad I did.
And what was the point that helped you figure that out? Like, do you remember if there was like a switch that went off and you're thinking, hey, I'm actually contributing to her paycheck?
Yes, because I was heavily involved with my director and national sales director this time because she was trying to rebuild her team because she would tell us, well, she was telling us, God's going to give this away if I don't, start sharing and teaching people the way I'm supposed to, and he'll just have somebody else do it. And, I don't want him to take away my, my people, or however she put it, but she was, she putting God into everything. And that really rubbed me the wrong way too. But when I learned I was the customer was when it was 2 times. So I was out and I was trying to sell, the Mary Kay. I had meetings with people and stuff. And so a friend of mine, she likes Mary Kay, or she still does. And so I went to her house because she needed to renew all of her stuff because she was running out. So I went there and she tried on everything that I had. We had a really good time. So she spent like $350 because, it's a retail price. It's expensive. So I called my sales director, my director, I guess you call her. And I told her, I'm like, oh, I'm finished, and it was really fun and all that. And I said, oh my gosh, I said, she bought $350 worth of Mary Kay. Then I heard surprise in her voice. That was like, huh. Because she's like, oh, really? She was like surprised that I was trying to actually sell the product. So that was weird. So that was the first time. Yeah, that was really weird. And I was like, uh-oh, red flag here kind of a thing. And I was like, well, I'm just going to pay attention. So that was the first time. And the second time was our national sales director went to Hawaii on one of the trips. How they, we all learn these trips. And she's like, oh, wishing you guys were here. How the typical thing that they always say that. And I was like, well, how much money did I just spend to get product for people? I could have gone to Hawaii. Why not? Mm-hmm. Because I actually went all in. I did the $5,000 package. Mm-hmm. So there was that. So those were the 2 biggest things that I realized I was the customer, is for her surprise. And then she's going to all these places and we're having to buy everything. Like you said, all the downline, they encourage you all to buy. And that's exactly what happened, because our director, she had a closet full of makeup and, all beauty Mary Kay stuff. She never sold a thing. She was just getting people.
Mm.
Yeah. She offered to me.
We have to be a product of the product, right? Because people aren't going to want to buy makeup from us if they're not seeing us use it.
Right. And I was fine with it because I like I said, I like it and it's no big deal. After being a mom, though, is when I started to slip like all moms do. It's like, oh, who's got time to put on mascara? Who the heck cares? Nobody sees me but the kid, right? Yeah. That kind of thing. Yeah. So yeah, that was, and the company said that they were in the black. And I heard that years ago when I went to my first convention, and I'm like, oh my gosh, they have no debt. And that I was young, I was in my 20s back then. And I was like, wow, that, it's a good solid place. Well, they're in the black because you're paying outright for everything and you don't owe them a cent. So of course they're never behind in their bills because we're paying them. And you have to, get your credit cards. So I had to get Discover to up my credit so that I could, or up the limit rather, so that I could buy this the kit and everything. Oh, it was just a nightmare. I've got a lot to say about all this stuff. I got to make more videos very quickly.
Yes. And let me know if you do make more videos and I'll put it in my little community tab because I got one of those recently. So yeah, let me know if you make any of those and I'll put them up for sure. So first, the 4 things we found about how we be a leader. The first 2, we sell and we recruit, but we know the recruit's at the top. You have to recruit first to have a downline, to buy products, to contribute to your income.
Yeah, and they tell you you don't need to recruit. You can make money just selling, and that's not true at all. At
Mhm.
all.
Yeah, totally. So I'm gonna click play again, and if my internet goes all messed up, I'll let it play for like a little bit longer, and we'll just read it. And then Melissa just got here, and Avery was saying hi to Melissa. Hi, friends. Okay.
Leadership of selling and recruiting with, so people are independent and on their own. 4, we expand the productivity of our teams. We increase the productivity of our leadership. You take groups of 100, one has a great leader, the other one does a great leader. Which would like to produce more? The one with the great leader. What we do is cause people to take more action. So those are the 4 things that we do. It's very simple. The top 2, the top things are a job. The bottom 2 is a business. Okay, so if you want to build a business here, you got to be all you're still doing.
So yeah, my internet had one little dot there for a while. I'm sorry about that, but he's telling us that the bottom 2 are a job we have to duplicate and we have to lead in order to get to the top 2. And in my opinion, and duplicate in MLM world means you have to make sure everyone in your downline is doing exactly what you do, because you want your downline to be actively recruiting as well. So then that contributes to your paycheck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because we're our own business owners, but we have to do exactly what our upline tells us to do.
Right.
Yeah, this is an interesting one. I'm sorry, Avery, I know. My internet's not usually this bad. Of course, when I have a friend on, it's terrible.
Okay. Oh, well.
Okay, I'm going to click play again.
All right, let me talk to you about how I evaluate true leadership in network marketing. I'm going to give you a list of 5 things that define a leader to me. And you might have a different list, and but this is my list, okay? The first attribute is they're independent. They're independent. And a person on your team or yourself, independence is highly important. Now, it doesn't mean lone wolf. It doesn't mean they don't follow the system. It doesn't mean they're not listening to the company. I don't mean rebellious. I just mean independent, not needy. They can go anywhere they want and build a business with or without any help. They know.
So my internet just cut out again. I hope you guys are getting some value from what he's saying. So we need to be independent but not needy. We need to be able to follow the instructions of our upline and do what they tell us to do without asking 100 questions. We've heard in our Amway videos recently that we're not supposed to ask stupid questions. We're supposed to just do what we're told and just take everything from face value. And is that something that you found as well in your experience? Like there's not really space for creativity or figuring out how you want to run your business?
No, and again, the last Mary case stint, I'm telling you, this is a treasure trove of information with it. So what they do is everybody has a sob story. There's no way to tell if it's true, but everybody's been, abused by husbands and people in the family and stuff. I can't understand if all of that is true, and I certainly don't want to diminish it if it is. But everybody does that. And they say, well, you'll have a story too. I'm like, I don't have a story. I don't know, when you get up there and talk, I don't know what you think I'm going to say. But what I found about the independence, they want you to follow exactly what they do, but then they don't want you to bother them. So our national sales director would say, you know, when I started, I was 19 and yeah, about 19, 18, whatever it was. And, you know, I was married and I was pregnant and my husband was very abusive. Her story changed periodically. It was getting worse sometimes than it really was. So I'm not really sure how true it is. That's why I'm saying that. And so you know, being pushed down the stairs while you're pregnant. And she said, well, when I started my Mary Kay, she said, I didn't question anything. She goes, I was just dumb. She goes, I didn't know what I was doing. I just followed what they told me. She said to go out and, you know, sell this. I went and sold that and came back. She said to go out and recruit a person. I went out and recruited a person and came back. So she's like, that's how I learned to do everything, because she goes, I just really had, you know, I was just really dumb in this whole thing. And you know what? She wasn't, her mother is a Mary Kay person that got in 20,000 years ago. She learned from her mother. So that right there was that was not true. So there, they will take your rent money. You got that right.
Yeah, Mark has really funny one-liners for sure. I have a question for people in the chat and for you also. Like, I'm not sure how much you guys are getting when my internet's bad. I don't know if we want to keep going with the video or not, or if we just want to like hang out and chat for a bit more. What do you think, Anne-Marie? Are you able to get the main point?
I am, because I'm reading and the way he's saying. So I am. You know, everybody else can kind of say, but we're almost halfway through with the video. So thankfully, it's only a 10-minute video.
Okay, so you're getting the point. So you can at least provide some commentary because you get the main point. Okay, so unless people tell us that they're not getting anything. Unless the chat tells us they're not getting anything from it, we'll just keep going for sure. And it's so interesting how Anne-Marie was saying that everyone had a sob story. Everyone was told to think of a story, even though not everyone has trauma. Not everyone has a serious experience. And it's interesting how a sob story is really held up on a pedestal in this industry, because we know it's really used as a way to relate to vulnerable individuals and make them think that if they enter your team, that they'll be around people who understand them and who respect them because they've had a similar experience to them. So that's an interesting thing and a really big theme in the MLM industry in general, I've found. So thank you for bringing that up. Anything else before we press play?
No, go ahead. My dog went berserk because my husband walked past the window.
Ooh, how dare he? Okay, I'm going to click play and I'll let it go for a few minutes.
How to do this without Number 2, is there great problems. Leaders solve problems. You ever heard the phrase, the bigger the problem, the bigger the paycheck? That's true. Leaders solve problems. Now, there's a difference between solving problems and what most people think they're a pretty good problem solver. And you know why? Because they're really good at giving the problem to somebody else. Problem shows up, they give it to somebody else. Give it to the upline. It's like hot potato. You take it. They send an email to the company. You take it. They go to their upline. You take it. They give it a downline. You take it. Crossline. You take it. I don't want it. And they think they solved a problem because they gave it to somebody else. Now, real leaders solve problems. And they do it quick. So think about, as we're doing this, think about how independent are you? Could you build a business with or without anybody else's help? Give yourself a score on a scale of 1 to 10 on independence. Second, great problem solver. How good are you at solving problems? Take responsibility, grab that problem, solve it. Pretty good at that? If you're not, you can always get better, and I will give you some things to get better. The third attribute of
So what do you think about that? We have to be able to problem solve, and the case of a good a showcase of a good leader is someone who figures things out on their own and doesn't just toss them up to their upline or down to their downline and takes responsibility. However, we're told we have to duplicate and do exactly what our upline tells us to do. And so if we're having problems, wouldn't that be on our upline because we're doing what our upline tells us to do? Right? That seems a little bit strange. What do you think about that?
That's exactly right. He's contradicting himself. If you're putting it toward the MLM and how this works, you should be independent, but then you have to duplicate, like you're saying, and follow everybody and do what they say and all that. So it's a contradiction from what he's saying right then and there. You can't do both. And then sometimes even, they're considered leaders. They don't always keep the problem. If there is one, they'll make it worse sometimes, or they'll just pass it on to whoever's even above them. You know what I mean? Or they'll just not even bother with it. They'll just leave it alone. So that was that I learned that too with my director. She was that way. She was trying to put a wedge between me and my friend Alicia because she told me that. She's like, well, I don't understand how you two are friends. She's so negative. You really need to not, be around her as much as possible because, you're doing really good and she's just so negative. She's going to bring you down. And when she told me that too, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is just getting worse. So yeah, they'll wedge in between you two, and they'll try to do whatever they can to make money. I was so easy. I could understand why she was saying that because I was like what you call it? What do they call that? A money, whatever that's called. I forget what it's called. But anyway, so kind of one of those because I was really trying to sell and buy it, what I need, and I bought way too much from what I need. But yeah, she just saw me as money.
Do you mean you were a red personality?
A red?
Yeah.
Oh, what does that mean? I know there's colors. I just don't know what they mean.
I don't know all of them, but I know there's a red personality, which means you're really focused on money.
Oh, then that's what she must be because she really was very much so. And so was our national sales director. They're so good at being fake. Very good at it because she was doing it for years, her whole life, because her mother was in it. So yeah, it's really interesting.
Yeah. And it's interesting how for Eric Worre to be a leader in the MLM industry in general, to be a leader means you recruit. It doesn't really matter how you're treating your people. It doesn't matter if you're actually leading and you care about their success. You just have to recruit. And that's what makes you a leader. Although previously, I think, did you say that the duplication doesn't require leadership? I think. Yeah. It's just interesting how it's just one definition, but then you could have someone with 10,000 people in their downline who doesn't pay attention to them, but they're considered a leader, right?
That's right.
It's crazy. All right. So I'm going to click play again. Hopefully you guys can read the subtitles.
Of a real leader. Consistency. Great leaders show up consistently. Now there might be a spike, crew 20 and 30 plan or something. So might be a super fall below that baseline. That baseline doesn't move. That baseline might be 2 hours a day, but they show up. They're there for their team. They're there for the three-way calls. They're there promoting. They're there. And what consistency does for a team, it's like a security blanket. The team knows, Diana, I can count on her. I can count on Joy. I can count on Leif. I can count on Julie. I can count on Kirsten. I can count on them. So when they feel like they can count on you, are they going to do more activity or less? More. You're leading by example. You're helping them. They're growing. 1 is independence. 2, great problem solver. 3.
So, what do you think about that? You have to show up consistently, meaning that no matter what your baseline is, you always have to be at that baseline. So, even if it's just 2 hours a day, you always need to do your 2 hours a day, and you can never take a day off. And if you do, that means you're not a leader. What do you think about that?
Stressful. Well, it's very stressful being in the MLM because you're always constantly thinking about, oh my gosh, I should be selling this, I should be doing that, or, oh my goodness, I gotta, put out an ad, but everything costs money. So you end up spending so much money and getting nothing in return but negative. In the red, you're basically in the red. And the consistency thing, sure, consistency is nice, but even for a single person, I'm not single, but I used to be, obviously. But if you're a single person, you're doing this 24 hours a day anyway. It's like you eat, sleep, and drink whatever the product is to try and, sell people. And then, old way before all this technology came about too. Oh, go talk to people in Target, give compliments, but give a real compliment. Don't sound like you're, trying to just, give them a song and dance, basically to try and get them to, have a facial. And that's another word that always messed me up, with the Mary Kay is the facial. It's not a facial. I know what a facial is. I went to beauty school. We're not doing a facial. So yeah, with the consistency, you have to do it constantly. It's not just 2 hours a day. Not at all. Definitely not.
We've heard in the Amway videos, I think it was Bert, that he told us even when he was at restaurants with his spouse, or he was out with his kid, he was still prospecting, he was still working. And he even taught, this is an Amway person, he taught his kid to go up to people and introduce herself, not just to be outgoing, but as a prospecting tool. So even if you're not actually working, sitting down at a desk, I feel like it can really take over your whole life, take over your brain, and you're constantly thinking about it. And I feel for me, any moment if I was in that situation and I wasn't working, then I would feel so guilty.
Yeah, the guilt is unbelievable.
All the time. So there's some good comments here. So I'm just going to read a few of these. Never understood his appeal. Some of these guys have a certain amount of charisma, but not Eric.
He doesn't.
I feel like Fraser Brooks. Do you know Fraser? I think he has charisma. Out of all of them, I dislike him the least. Yeah, I dislike him the least out of all of them. I feel like I dislike Ray Higdon the most, for sure. Dave Hollis, may he rest in peace, is one of the worst show-up offenders.
Yeah, it was surprising when he passed away. I was everybody was really surprised. It was just unbelievable. But yeah, he was what you said, show-up offenders. Yep.
And that's fine in like that. A lot of the advice we hear with these MLMs are fine if you apply them to an average environment. Like, hey, you have a specific health goal. You could create a schedule and try your best to stick to that schedule. So I feel like on the broader level, it's fine advice, but in no other environment are you going to be told you cannot give yourself any kind of flexibility. Because if you have a fitness goal, sometimes your kids might be up all night. Sometimes you had to work 12 hours at work and you weren't able to get to your workout. But you're not going to sit there and guilt yourself. You're going to say, that's okay, I'll do it tomorrow, right? So consistency is fine, but you have to give yourself some leeway, in my opinion. Yeah. Okay. So chat, do we still want to play this video? Let me know. Just tell me if you're like, no. If a lot of people are like, no, don't play the video because it's not working, then we don't have to. Let me know, chat. Okay, I'm going to click play.
We're so close.
They're constant. Activity never go under. Some people say, well, hold on. I'm going on a cruise with my family. How can I be consistent on the cruise? Easy. Buy the Wi-Fi package and show up for your team for an hour while the family's doing something else. go check in. They're having lunch. You can skip lunch. You're going to eat plenty on that cruise ship. You can skip. See, the average person goes on a cruise, gains a pound a day. A day. So, hey, get up a little early while the family's sleeping in and show up for your team. Yeah, but I want it to be family time. No, you're just wanting to completely check out. This is do with time. Go to sleep and you could do. Kids are off on some excursion. What baseline consistency.
So I saw DC's here. Hi, DC. Go subscribe to DC, everybody. She's amazing and fantastic. And yeah, go subscribe. DC, we're having technical difficulties, but we're working through it.
Yeah. We're
Spend money on Wi-Fi to work your business. So what do you think about that? What do you think about him telling us how to fit in our business on vacation? Did you ever feel pressure to work your business when you were with your family? If you were in an average environment, you would have been able, and work environment, you would have been able to completely just turn off that part and like just unplug. Did you ever feel pressure to do that?
Yeah, you can't unplug. This is like the worst part of what he's explaining right now is for you to, be consistent and work on a cruise ship. Well, you're going on a cruise ship, not to work for sure. I've never been on a cruise, but I tell you, I'm not going to work while I'm on it. So for him to say, just buy the Wi-Fi package, get up earlier. Well, if you have kids, you don't want to get up earlier. There's, you're just tired, especially if they're young. And, stay up late. I think he's going to say that, or he already did, about, staying up a little bit later or skipping lunch and let your family. No, you want to have lunch with your family. So yeah, this to me was the worst part because everything he's saying is so against family. And they say, oh, you get time freedom in your home and you see your family and this and that. None of that's true. None of it.
And I feel like he's inadvertently guilting us for wanting to be present with our families and not wanting to miss out on anything, because I think we lose our money in an MLM, but we also lose our time. Even if we don't have children, we lose time to explore our own hobbies, to find new ones, to be with our friends. And then if you do have children and you're on a cruise, you are losing out on time with them. And that's just so sad that we're being guilted for that. Yeah, I hate it. And also they say, oh, just wake up a little bit early, stay up a little bit later. I don't know about you. I am very rigid with my bedtime. I will not wake up earlier. I will not go to bed later. I go to bed when I'm tired.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, and they make it seem like just because one person can stay up till 3 a.m. working, that everyone can. And that's not true. We're all different. And then DC said, because how can you enjoy your family if you're not scamming a shit ton of people out of their money? I'm surprised he didn't tell us to prospect people on our cruise. I'm surprised he's not saying you got to prospect them all, guys.
Yeah, because you look at it, that's what they want you to do, is to look at everybody as a possible, because a possible downline person or whatever, because you are in this for a reason. God put you here for a reason. And if you're in the MLM, then you are here for somebody. You need to help people. MLMs don't help anybody. The way it twists the brain to say that, oh, you're helping somebody, and if you don't talk to them, then you're making the decision for them. What if that was their thing that they needed to do? You just cost them their family, their finances. Oh, I've heard it all. Oh yeah, there's quite a few things that are just so the downright, what's the word? Backstabbing-ish kind of thing. I don't know what the word is, but
predatory?
Deceptive. Yes, predatory and deceptive, all of it.
We hear it a lot in Beachbody. That's the one I like to follow the most. They say things like, it's selfish for you not to share this gift. And I think, what do you think of this? I think that kind of thing is just a way for us to like change our thoughts in our head. So instead of us thinking that we're scared to invite because we shouldn't be doing it, no, it's because we're being selfish.
Mm-hmm. Oh
Also,
yeah, I
it's
heard
not
that.
that we're scared, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a way just to like switch our thoughts around in our brain.
Yeah, and it's really weird that that's what happens when you're
Mhm.
not, when you don't think this is terrible. Insidious, that's another good word.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't know that that's what's happening, and you think, oh, well, they know what they're doing. They're high up. Well, yeah, they're high up for a reason.
Mhm. And I feel like when the people are at the very top of these companies, they likely know what's happening. They likely know that downline is not making any money. I feel like for me personally, I'd feel like the people in the middle and the bottom may or may not know what's actually happening.
Yeah, once you start getting up to like directors and executive directors and whatever director these people are, you know what they are, they definitely have to know by that point, because even as you first getting recruited, I even had my red jacket, but that's a whole other story too. And that was not gotten honestly from, and that was another red flag, no pun intended. But what was I going to say about that? Where, oh yeah, the people higher up. So after you get recruited, so I was kind of watching the director that, you know, recruited me with my friend. And so then as soon as you're in, then they start telling you how to recruit people. And then you start thinking, well, that's what you did to me. You know, you used this on me. And some people may get angry about that, or they'll think, well, this is just the way it's done. And pretty much that's what you think. You think, oh, well, this is the way it's done, but it was used on me. So then how honest is it? It's just really, it's a lot. It's a lot of just mind boggling or mind, you know, numbing to you what they do.
Take a look at what Lisa said here. If someone tried to pitch the opportunity on a cruise ship, Lisa would be very rude in my expression of disinterest.
Good.
It's okay to be rude if someone is pitching an MLM to us.
Oh yeah,
You know, be to the point, you know. Lady online.
That's funny.
Sorry, I skipped
No,
over.
I was just laughing at what she said. That's funny.
Ladies on Lions, we're just looking at an Eric Worre video telling us about being a good leader. Just to let you know, we're having some technical difficulties, but you can read what he's saying in 2 different spots. Okay, I'm going to click play now. Oh, I thought I did.
And the ability to communicate that vision.
Okay.
The vision says when? Worth it. A vision says, you know, can I do it? Is it possible for me? When leaders get strong, I want you to hear me with this. The big $1 million earners, their language is almost all vision. People will join for your vision before they join for your product. People will join your vision and they will compensation plan. You believe me, Sydney? You can get strong. Now it's vision. I mean, of course you'll do that. But your vision for your team. What's your vision for them? Your ability to communicate that, have it in your mind and communicate it is vital. You got to learn to speak and communicate like great leaders speak and communicate. Vision's a huge part of it. Huge. Some of you put my vision on that. Just relax. Just relax. We'll ask some questions and we'll start to build your vision that you can start speaking in that vision. When you do, you're going to see a big spike in growth. And number 5, they create leaders.
So what do you think about vision? Hopefully you're able to get some of that. So we need to have a vision that's bigger than the products, that's bigger than the company. What do you think? Were you told to have a huge vision in your MLM that went beyond just making more money?
Yeah, the vision, they're selling the dream. They're selling you a dream that you're like, oh my gosh, I could, be like you, and I can actually have a nice team and, be like a good leader to them and help them, and because you're supposed to help all of them. That's what the whole point of recruiting is, apparently. But yeah, that the vision is their vision, but their vision is to make more money, while yours is to have a dream, and you got to keep believing in your dream. Another good one about that is, well, if you only get this far and then you're like so tired and you want to quit, and then you quit, and then the next step would have been your you get your money. And that works too, that because you think, oh gosh, yeah, I just got to keep doing, because if you give up, then you're really going to get, what if it was the next one? So it's just really interesting, the manipulation that goes into that. It's very fascinating, and it's amazing how many of us fall for it. It just is. But yeah, oh, don't stop, because the next one, that could have been your day, and you left before your vision came true, and all that stuff. So that's a bunch of baloney too.
That's just a way to keep us in longer, right? Like say we're in Beachbody and we're doing all the personal volume requirements and buying all the new products. That is all contributing to our upline's money, upline's paycheck. And if they keep telling us, well, you're so close to diamond, you just need to keep going. The big line is, you don't quit. You don't fail unless you quit. And so if you want to be a failure, you'll quit. Don't quit, because your dream is just over there. And
right. It's just
so manipulative. Yeah. I think it's preying on someone's desire for change to keep them in debt, because the longer we stay in these MLMs, the more debt we go into.
Oh yeah, I've spent tens of thousands of dollars, just like everybody else, and got nothing for it. I have a whole, I call it a bling shed, but I have a whole shed full of paparazzi jewelry. I have like $25,000 worth of paparazzi, and that's wholesale. So yeah, that was another one. But anyway, go ahead.
We have 50 seconds left, so I'll just let it play, and then we can chat more. Okay. I keep clicking play, and it's not working.
I don't know how else to describe that, but I just know that when some leaders show up, results happen. Activity increases. Have you ever had a great coach that you wanted to perform for? Anybody had a great coach that you wanted to impress, that you wanted to inspire, a great teacher that you wanted to be proud of you? Right? Most of us have. This is when these leaders are going to take action, taking action. People who were going to be scared face their fears. People who are going to go to the conference, go to the conference, because this leadership and created results. Okay.
So we're done. That was good. I'm glad we can just hang out and chat now. So what do you think about the last thing? So if leaders show up, then they'll create results. And if the leaders creating results, then people below them will also create results as well. Because you're duplicating what your leader is doing, right?
Yeah, sorta, I guess, because you're buying more. So you're what you call it, duplicating, or the vision, you're helping them. So of course the results happen, because then you're buying more, and they make you think that, oh my gosh, this is only going to be here for this season. Like with Mary Kay, it's like in seasons kind of a thing. Paparazzi was daily. You bought daily. Anyhow, we'll stick with this one. The Mary Kay. Oh my gosh, I'm just dying to spew everything.
Yeah.
I know. I just got so much to say. Yeah, so that's how they do it when you're they're the upline. And for the upline that I had, the director, Carrie, well, her name is Carrie, but the end of the month was happening, and she's like, oh, we're almost a Cadillac unit. We're almost a pink Cadillac unit. They tell you that. And I was thinking about that too. I'm like, well, we're not going to be a Cadillac unit because you're not going to let us borrow it. So I was thinking about that after. So that meeting that was happening that night. So I called to see, because I was really all into this. And I was like, oh my gosh, how close are you to getting the Cadillac tonight? Because you only had until midnight that month. So if she didn't qualify by midnight, she was done. She had to start all over again for the next month. And I said, well, how far away, are you? She's like, oh, I'm only $625 away. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so close. I said, well, just use my credit card that I have there. pick out $600 worth of stuff that I'll want. And then there you go. She's like, oh my gosh, you don't have to do that. That's so sweet of you. And blah, 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 blah. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's what I did. And I thought about that, of course, way later. And it's like, she probably said that to more than one person, that she's only $600 away, because she knew that wasn't a whole lot of money. It's a lot of money, but it was close enough the way I was buying things. She knew that I could do that, and probably would, because she was going on your kindness of things. So yeah, we became a Cadillac unit, but none of us got to be in it. So there's that.
And do you think that, we're so close to being a Cadillac unit, is to make it feel like it's more of a team milestone?
Mm-hmm.
Even though she's the one getting the recognition, and
Right.
the downline that actually got her there, it has nothing. They don't get any prize or fancy gold ring or something. It's all her. She gets it all.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you just have to sit there and drool that you want the same thing. Not literally, of course, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. And I wanted to ask you, when you were in your MLMs, did you follow MLM coaches, or did you do any courses or go to any MLM conventions with these coaches?
No, because I really didn't know that they were around too much. And I thought, well, we were told that our leaders, our national sales directors and stuff, they're teaching us, to be on their team and all that. So no, I never felt that I had to go to an MLM coach. Before I totally got out with this whole paparazzi thing, I was starting to look online and seeing, oh my gosh, there are MLM coaches. So Beach Boss Influencers or Beach Boss, whatever. I was in their thing. It was very limited, only because there's so much information that they're always emailing you, and you just delete it after a while. And then you got to pay to be in these clubs and all this. And it's like, why am I going to pay to be in this club when I'm not making any money? So it's just really ridiculous. So actually, MLM coaches, no. Only very recently, within the past few years, I started looking at some and just kind of like listening to all their free stuff, which just makes you want to, they give you just enough. And then it's like, well, then you could sign up for this masterclass. What is this masterclass stuff all of a sudden? Everybody's calling their stuff a masterclass. And so you have to get into that to be able to further everything. And then you really get the secret. So they're always selling their secrets, or, and that's baloney too. There's no secrets. The secrets are that they are, being able to get you in to earn more money for themselves, and the things that they charge. I've been watching that Colleen person on Instagram. Everybody's talking about Colleen, that, what is she? The No Shame Sales Game lady. Oh my gosh. I would just love to sit in a room with her one day. She's hilarious in one way. And in another way, it's just like, lady, please, but anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's basically it for that. But no, I didn't follow, I didn't have them.
Okay. I feel like it's a whole scam within a scam, because these people are already financially vulnerable. They've already been victimized and targeted. And then all of these different gurus like Fraser and Eric all say that they have the one answer, and that they're doing MLM differently, and we need to follow them in order to find success.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly right.
People are just re-victimized all over again, in my opinion.
Yeah. And our directors, the national sales directors that are, greedy for the money. There was one that, the second time I was in, it was so disappointing. But anyway, when my sister and I were in together at that time, with her, but they're after all the money. And what I was going to say something about that. Oh, darn. Oh, okay. Yeah. So when they have you do their classes and stuff, you have to pay for everything that you do with them. And so the national sales director I had, her course that we went once a week for was $200 a person.
Every week?
No, not every week. It's for, I don't know, 3 months, 6 months, or about 6 months, I think it is. It was $199, and she was doing us a favor, because if you sign up late, then it's like $300 or something like that. And when I would go to the bathroom in her house, that was another thing I was looking at, because I was already starting to get, red flaggy, with this stuff. She didn't have any Mary Kay products in the bathroom that people were using. She had everything else under the sun. There was not one Mary Kay product in that bathroom. And she's like, well, that's my daughter's bathroom. No, it's everybody's bathroom. So I don't know why she didn't have that in there. And she's like, well, you don't have to like everything. I really don't like Mary Kay's mascara, so I use something else. But she had, like I said, nothing in her bathroom that was Mary Kay.
Interesting.
I thought so too.
Janet just said it's easy pray because they already said yes to MLM.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And they want to change. They want to be successful. And I could see how someone might fall prey to Eric Worre when he's promising you that he can teach you to be the greatest leader ever, and you're going to find magical success.
Yeah. And you think you're hearing something, when they have these speakers, because, I've been to stuff with the speakers too, that they've had at the conventions and things like that. They always have speakers and, whatnot like that. And they just have you believe that they try to inspire you, but you actually believe kind of like what they're saying because you want what they're saying. So I kind of lost my little train on that because like I said, everything's going on in here right now with trying to get everything out, but that's not going to happen in one night. Buddy, go outside.
Puppy.
Yeah, he's a sweet dog. I mean, he
Cute.
is. He's old. He's actually going to be 11 this summer, and I'm getting to the nervous point because now that he's older, what's going to happen soon. So I worry about that. So anyhow, that's off subject.
Aw. So yeah, I'm glad we were able to connect. And do you have anything else that you would want to say about Eric Worre, about what we heard, about how to be a good leader? Do you have anything else that was in your brain, or do you think you were able to say everything?
Oh, it'll take many videos for me to say everything. And I'll get there for sure.
Yeah.
But hearing him talk and like the Fraser Brooks guy, when I was watching some of his stuff, that little video that you sent me, it was really interesting how he was sandwiching everything as he was turning around and letting you see all of the Seychelles behind him and wherever he was.
He does that a lot.
That one was very interesting because I caught all of his sandwiches, that he was doing, talking about the business and then talking about, oh, look, it's so beautiful here. Oh, which way should I face? And, face in the sand, put your face in the sand, I know, don't get me started on that one, but yeah. So with these guys, you just want to, they try to inspire you and get you to follow them and you believe in what they're saying because obviously they're there. So they must have done something right. And yeah, they done something right. All right. They got you to believe them. And then they charge you an arm and a leg to come and see them. That's
a great point. Yeah. So everyone here, go subscribe to Anne-Marie if you aren't already. Do it right now, if you want. No pressure, though. I'll still like you if you don't. But yeah, that was really fun. And Avery said, great video, even with the technical difficulties. Have a good rest of your day, friends. And yeah, I had fun. It was fun to talk to you and to learn a bit more about your experiences. And I encourage everyone to go watch that video that you made. I think it was like 8 months ago. It was fantastic.
Yeah, it was
really good on camera. You did a really good job there.
Oh, good. Thank you. I worry about that. That's why I couldn't do this by myself.
Yeah.
I had to do it with somebody, and you're a good person to do it with.
Yeah, thank you. And Janet said, thank you for the stream by. I'll love you all in a very culty way.
Oh, yeah, the pink bubble. I saw somebody say that up there. That's another thing. Oh, yeah. And that's true.
And then Carol just said, glad to find another channel to sub to.
Oh, good. Aw, that's sweet.
Thanks for the combo. And Eric the Worm.
The Worm. That's a really good name for him. I like that. I do. That's a good one.
Okay, cool. So I'm just going to click end broadcast now. I don't remember what happens on your end, but I'm going to click end broadcast, and I don't know if you'll be like kicked out of the studio or not.
Okay, I may disappear.
Yeah.
It was nice to be here. And I love seeing everybody. This was really fun. I enjoyed it. It was
really fun. I'm so happy you enjoyed it. And even though we had technical difficulties, I hope you might want to do another one soon. And
of course. Seeing what he was saying.
Yeah, awesome. And so I'm going to end the broadcast now. Thank you to all the people who were hanging out with us. Thank you, Anne-Marie. You were fantastic.
Thank you. I was glad to be here. I really am.
Oh, awesome. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.
Bye.